When it comes to industrial devices, we see the color red a lot. But what's the difference between all these red devices? Some of them we push, some of them we turn, but what's the difference? Well, this device right here is called a disconnect switch. Now the name disconnect means that obviously it can either connect or disconnect something, and that something is the supply electricity coming into a machine or an assembly within a machine. Now what differentiates these from emergency stop kind of devices is that an emergency stop of some kind, whether that's a push button, pull chain, magnetic switch for a gate enclosure, those all need to be installed at the point of access where it's within easy reach for an operator. A disconnect does not provide instant reaction time to something going wrong in the equipment. It can, however, be turned on and off and locked in the off position for maintenance procedures, but it provides a way to be able to disable electricity to the entire machine that it's responsible for powering. Now, if we look inside, we see actually a smaller assembly inside. This is actually the disconnect switch. Often the disconnect switches can have handles that come in from the side, handles that come in from the front, and they look an awful lot like circuit breakers. But a disconnect by itself is neither fused nor has a circuit breaker inside. And what that means is that while you can turn it on and off, it will not provide automatic protection if the device downstream starts using too much electricity. There are certainly electrical enclosures that contain both the disconnect and a fuse block or a breaker or a combination of both, and those provide extra protection, but the disconnect switch by itself is only responsible for providing a way for the operator to turn electricity on and off to the equipment in a well-marked, well-visible location. Now, circuit breakers do have switches inside to be able to energize or de-energize them, but we don't often rely on those circuit breakers to be able to be the main responsibility for switching on and off, because the sensitive springs and devices inside can, over time, with enough switches, change the current rating that it actually trips at. So instead, that's why we use a disconnect switch along with circuit breakers and fuses, because this is the piece that's designed to be switched on and off repeatedly. The others exist solely to protect the downstream equipment and the operators from any damage. So disconnects are really important as part of an assembly to supply electricity to a device or a sub-assembly that's electrically controlled.